You ready?
Ready.
You ready to do this thing? Oh, we're on. Welcome back to another edition of Ask WillMac.
Sorry for the look here. We just finished our workout.
What workout was today?
Today was full body strength. It was very much full body strength.
I'm in such a blur. I was seeing stars during the first set.
I was
tough.
not. He's so dramatic.
You weren't?
No. It was hard. I was working hard, but you're so dramatic.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
It was
anyway.
hard. I was seeing
What are we
stars.
talking about today?
All right, so today's question was kind of a complicated one, and we're going to jump around, and hopefully it all makes sense at the end. We were even having we were even debating a little bit amongst each other before the video started. But so we talk a lot about 40, 30, 30. The percentage of macros that you should have each day. So 40% of your calories should come from carbohydrates, 30% of your calories should come from fat, and 30% of your calories should come from protein. Well, we had a question that said, well, what should my plate look like if I'm supposed to be at 40, 30, 30? Mm-hmm. And the first thing that I want to address is that 40, 30, 30 is what you should be at the end of the day, not necessarily what each meal should look like. For instance, I 85% of the time I eat eggs for my breakfast, and then sometimes I'll have ham,
Chicken sausage. Yeah.
So my breakfast is primarily fat and protein.
Yeah.
That's it. There's almost no carbs. So at the beginning of the day, right after breakfast, I'm going to be way high on fat and protein and have almost no carbs when I'm supposed to be 40% carbs at the end of the day.
Right.
And then also, like, Abby, show me your protein shake. So Abby, this is first thing you've eaten today?
I had a half banana before.
So she had half banana before she worked out, which is a carb, and she's smashing a bunch of protein right now after her workout. She's gonna have almost no fat.
Right. So
almost zero fat.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't. So 40, 30, 30. You should look back at MyFitnessPal, and you can go into nutrition, and you can look at your pie chart. And you see that you want to be 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat at the end of the day.
Yes.
Not necessarily at each meal.
Yeah, because there's sometimes where you have an apple for a snack, and that's going to be all carbs. So it's like you don't have to think about it necessarily, when you sit down, kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember, like the old school plate, like picture that they showed you in like elementary school. That was like, it kind of had like a graph. And I do think that's something that's a good basis, once again. To kind of like go carbs.
What did it say? She's so much.
I don't know. It was
so
just
much
like
meats,
a triangle.
so
Yeah,
much
it was like
vegetables,
cheese and
so
then like
much
milk.
carbohydrate.
Yeah, so it's kind of it is good to get a really well-rounded meal. That way you have like carbs for energy. You got protein. But it's really more about meals are more about how much you're eating and the kind of the portion size, and they are about necessarily the breakdown of the macros.
Yeah, a portion size is a portion size, guys.
Yeah.
For instance, if you're making a ham sandwich, listen, there's nothing wrong with some good Ezekiel bread, oat nut bread, wheat bread. Put a healthy amount of ham, deli ham or deli turkey, which is very, very lean. Put your onions, lettuce, and tomatoes, whatever you like on your salad, on your sandwich. But here's what I do is, because if you look at the nutrition label on your loaf of bread, one serving is one slice.
Yes.
You're not supposed to.
Sandwiches became two.
Yeah. You're not supposed to say two. But so what I do is I will cut one piece of bread in half, and then I'll load that half piece of bread with meat, maybe some cheese for some fats, and then lettuce and onion and tomato or whatever you may like, and then I'll put the other half on top. That way I am still getting my one serving of bread, but I have a nice hearty sandwich that's high in protein.
Right, and then you might have something with it. Like the other day I made a bean salad, so you might have some bean salad with a sandwich or something, just to get, because if you eat a lot of bread, that is a lot of carbohydrates in one sitting, and that's gonna almost like tank you for the day.
You're gonna have a hard time catching your other macronutrients.
Yeah. Meals are more so like, and we all know that American diet, our portions are so heavy when we go out to meals, when we go out to restaurants, like. I think you have to be really cautious of things like that because they get you. But some of the ways to get around it is like what Will does too is he buys like buns, like smaller maybe buns, like whole wheat buns, and those are maybe 120 calories. So it's maybe you get a little bit more, but it's not 200 calories worth.
She's talking about like little rolls, actually.
Yeah, little rolls.
So as opposed to having like the regular basic potato rolls, which are about this big, I actually get the dinner rolls, right? You think a dinner roll, which is a little bit smaller. I will actually get a dinner roll, cut that in half, and that's my hamburger bun.
Yeah.
And I'm saving 30 to 40 calories of carbohydrates.
I love this. There's this one protein pizza. It's Quest Pizza, and it's a pretty small pizza. But the whole pizza itself is like close to 700 calories. It does have like 50 grams of protein, so that's awesome. But the first time I got it, I was like, oh, this is great. I want to eat the whole thing. And I totally did. And then I looked and it was like half my calories for the day. It's things like that where you have to be a little more cautious when it comes to meals and portion size of like having half the pizza. Maybe then if you're hungry in a couple hours, have something else. But otherwise, if you sit down and eat half your calories in one meal, I can guarantee you it's not going to, feel good. Because I know after I eat a lot at one time, I don't feel like getting up and moving, and I feel like sitting, and your body feels very lethargic.
I don't like feeling lethargic.
Yeah, I don't either. So you kind of got to find a way to eat just enough when you sit down for meals, where you feel good and, you feel like you can still be productive as opposed to having to take a nap.
So the title is Eat Till You're Full.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, I think there's a lot to say about really paying attention to when you do feel full. That is a feeling we should all have. And, Will's so impressive in a way where he can just eat and eat past fullness. And it's like for cheat days, like this kid is just like, but you have to really pay attention to when you're full. So I think eating slower sometimes is a really good thing to make sure, it's like, oh, if you're full, then stop eating. Nothing says that you have to finish the food
and
that's
full doesn't mean stuffed.
No way.
Full means I am no longer hungry.
You shouldn't have to sit up like this to finish a meal. Yeah. You should be able to still feel comfortable.
There should be no unbuttoning of the pants.
Yeah, no. Once again, save that for a cheat meal or when you go to one of those Brazilian steakhouses or something.
There's a time for that. Let me say that.
Yeah.
But on a daily basis, it's just not good to eat until you're stuffed.
Yeah, but really start paying attention to fullness and when you feel full, and then start to know that maybe the half a sandwich, after the half sandwich, that's when you feel full. Start to really pay attention and note the stuff that makes you feel full. I know that if I have a yogurt and a banana, I'm going to be full. That what makes me feel full. So really start kind of tuning into that.
Yeah, I definitely. So full disclosure, I signed up for a photo shoot.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, I know. And so I have really...
I did not.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. So I really started to rein it in as far as my diet goes. And I really enjoy having big dinners. And I have stopped, as of a few days ago and last week, I have stopped going back for seconds. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't need seconds.
Because you realize too in the first meal, we made scallops and potatoes last night, and the first meal serving size was probably 350 calories. Maybe a little more for you. You had a little more potato, but that's enough. That's enough. And then if you're hungry in a couple hours, then eat something else. That is really enough to feel satisfied and to feel full.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's okay to stop a little short,
mm-hmm. and then to get
in
hungry
one meal,
later.
And then to get hungry again in a couple hours. And
agree.
that's another thing that's going to keep your metabolism up too. Is we encourage you to eat more meals or smaller meals more often.
Yeah.
Throughout the day.
Yep.
So, any concluding thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know.
Eat until you are not full.
Eat until you're full. Pay attention to
and
that.
40, 30, 30 is what you're supposed to look like at the end of the day, not for any particular meal.
Start paying attention to fullness and how you feel during meals.
Yeah, and pay attention to the nutrition label.
Yeah.
Don't go hog wild. You might be surprised when your Doritos, when on the back of the nutrition label it says 12
it's
chips.
Like 12 Doritos, yeah.
Yeah. Who does that?
You
Who
just
does
ate
that?
3 servings.
The slogan for Pringles is you can't eat just one. They want you to sit there on the Lazy Boy and smash the whole flipping can.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, watch your portion sizes. Get your 40, 30, 30, and stay healthy out here, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for tuning into another edition of Ask WillMac. We will see you on Monday.
Woohoo! Have a good weekend, guys.
Peace.